Hi, this is Catherine. This is Taking Tea with Catherine. This is, well, it was. I pretty much finished with it by now. This is Lady Grey tea, which is one of my favorites. It's a classic favorite, really. And it's from Twinings, which I managed to pick up along with Prince of Wales tea, which I still like. Not as much as I used to, but I think I prefer the loose tea version of it, and I had the bag version just because of the strength, whatever. But not a big deal. So I was going to do a mid-month check-in, talk about the books that I've been reading lately, kind of a wrap up, but I haven't been finishing a lot of books recently. I finished like 2 this month so far. For me, that's not that much. It's a bit poor, but it's not a disaster. I'm still in the middle of a bunch of books. But I thought, instead of talking about that, I thought I'd just talk about a few things that are on my mind, what I've been thinking about with regards to life and booktube and everything. And there's a lot of videos that I wanted to make, thought about making, doing. I filmed a haul video, and then I deleted it. One of the reasons was because while I was talking, someone outside the window where I was sitting decided to say very loudly the N-word, and that is not really something I want to have on my channel at all. But yeah, otherwise I've had a little trouble concentrating on coming up with anything new, just because, well, there's been a few sad things that have happened in my family, etc., that kind of brought me down anyway. So that was really enough of a reason. But I don't want to go into it too much. But I thought I'd just talk about things that I've been thinking of. Anyway, and speaking of hauls, one of the reasons why I decided to delete that, besides not make another video of it or pare it down or whatever, is because I've been watching a lot of videos, and this is a discussion that is not new, but it's just been brought up a lot more recently, and that is the whole booktube consumerism issue, and too many hauls, etc. And I don't know exactly how to feel about it. A lot of people were actually quite fair, and they were like, don't you don't have to encourage people to go out and constantly buy things. It's not good for the environment, etc. It's not good for your budget, maybe. But if someone likes to have books and they can, don't judge them for that either. And I agree. I do think that, everybody's different, and everybody has something that not everybody else has, if that makes sense. So, privilege or choice or whatever. So, like, for instance, this year when we were encouraged to stay home as much as possible, and when the weather started to get a little nice and I wanted to spend time outdoors, I didn't have my own outdoor space. I have 0 outdoor space of my own. I can't even open my window without all kinds of noise coming in. So if someone else, posts on social media with pictures of themselves in their own garden or balcony or porch or whatever, what am I going to do? Get angry at them and tell them who they think they are because they have these things? So I mean, I can't, on the other side, if I have a lot of books because that's what I like having, then one shouldn't get angry at me for having a lot of books, because that's the thing that I have, if that makes sense. I love books. I was much more of a public library book reader growing up than a book purchaser, and I still not only check out from the library when I can, but I also encourage it, because you save a lot of money that way, and you do save space as well. But I also love being surrounded by books, even books I haven't read yet, but books that I love also. You could probably, if you could see, my bookshelves are even more visible than usual, I think, today. I have a lot of classics because that's one of the things I love the most. I have a lot of history books. It was, okay, slightly personal mode. I shared my apartment with my dad, as in my 20s, and I did accumulate a number of books, and I had kind of iffy shelves for books, and I had a Billy bookshelf that I hadn't put together. And my after my dad died, I needed some help in getting my apartment, in shape for it to be in my name. And so I had a lot of good friends help me out with that, and just painting, all the things that you have to do, cleaning up. It's a lot of work. But a really close friend of mine who knew me, who's not much of a reader, not against reading, just not much of a reader, she took me to IKEA and bought me 2 more Billy bookshelves and helped me assemble these. 3 bookshelves because she said to me, you know, what you really need? You need a library. You need a space for your books and to enjoy and whatever. And that's what she did. That's what she helped me out with. I mean, I was always going to have books, but she helped me kind of have a way to put them all together and have a devoted room to my books. Even though there are other rooms in my apartment that have books, this is like the main one. And I was grateful for that. And I think she really understood this is something I love. This is well before BookTube. This is when YouTube was just starting to be a thing. So I definitely did not assemble these to and have this collection for showing off to anybody, really. It's basically my private room. I do have people come in here sometimes, but that's it. However, I understand that there are people out there who want to make BookTube videos, and I encourage that. And they don't feel like they're going to be legit or something because they don't have big bookshelves. They may have a few books that they own, and they mostly get library books or e-books, and they think, oh, no one's going to want to watch me because I don't have my backdrop. And I understand that because it is fun to watch people's, watch people talking in front of books, but I'm like, to me, if your content is good, if you're talking about your love for books and what you've been reading or whatever, go for it. I will probably watch it if you're talking about books I'm interested in. On the flip side, I might not watch a video. Someone may have a beautiful bookshelf all set up and, wonderful, full of books, and all the books are books that I'm not interested in talking about. I may not watch that. So you may have an advantage in some ways. But what I mean is I'm thinking about maybe doing fewer haul videos. I'm not saying I'm going to cut them out altogether, just doing fewer, just because I don't want that to be the only thing that people tune in for, even though that really does get a lot more viewers than almost anything else. Yikes. So it's a bit of a difficult thing. But I also don't want to maybe discourage people who want to talk about books but can't afford to buy or something. I don't know. So I'm trying to figure out my balance here, and maybe I'm just being a little dramatic, but whatever, right? But okay, so on the same line of thinking about things, I have been on a unintentional but still trying to go with it book buying ban, which means that I went 2 weeks because I suddenly was able to take library books out. Not that I needed to, but and I realized, let me just stop buying books for a while. Not going on the book websites at all. Trying to watch fewer hauls even, just not to encourage myself for now, and not to go into bookstores. Although I did go into one and didn't buy anything. And I went past Book Off, but it was closed that day, and that was a good thing for me. But I managed to go, as of tomorrow, 4 weeks without buying books, and I think that's great. I'll see if I can keep going. I did find a place that has books for free, so I did pick up some of those. I was going to make a haul video out of that, and I just decided not to for now. But yeah, so it does help. It does help me to maybe for now to chill with the book buying. It's not a bad thing when I already have a lot. So I'm trying to find a balance here. But I'm just going to go a little further into that discussion about feeling legit about as a booktuber. I don't use that word legit very often. I don't know where it keeps coming from right now. But like some people feel like people won't recognize them as a booktuber or something because they don't have bookshelves. I also have felt the feeling of, people won't really view me as a proper YouTuber at all, much less a booktuber, because I don't edit. I don't edit yet, really. And that could be. There could be people who already just got turned off by my videos. It tends to be the younger generation, but I don't want to blame any generation or age group, but that really likes to edit a lot, and I find people of my age and older not as much, so I don't know. Maybe it's not a big deal to certain people, but I would like to, but honestly, when I decided to make a channel and make videos, one of the thoughts that went through my head was, what do I want to do, etc. And I went with the name of my blog, and it's Taking Tea with Catherine, because I wanted it to be the representation of what I want to do. And otherwise I would be like reading books with Catherine's books or whatever, which are not bad things. I consider myself a booktuber, but I wanted the feeling of the video to be, you are sitting with me either at home or out somewhere in a nice cafe with a warm drink talking about books. And I think I've kept that theme pretty well. And especially in these times where I've not been able to get together with anyone physically over, over tea or anything and talk about books. Everything's been over a camera, so it's like, I feel like it's even more so a thing that I like to do now. So that's it. You don't necessarily need editing to sit and discuss with somebody the books you've been reading, the books you purchased recently. Picture yourself meeting somebody and they just went to a store and picked up a bunch of books and they have a bag with them and they're going over what they're showing you while you're ordering a piece of cake. That's kind of a haul video, but that's what I do. So I don't think that editing is necessary. It would just be nice to clean things up. I know that when you talk to someone in person over a cup of tea and talk about books, you don't have graphics floating around, you don't have little clips of things, but it might be nice. However, for me, I felt pretty secure in the fact that, okay, I don't do editing, but it's not a big deal. But then I don't know what got into me. I was watching different types of YouTubers and I came across, maybe it was in my suggested whatever, a well-known person in BookTube who I don't think is still technically a BookTuber, but does associate with a lot of BookTubers and has tons of subscribers. And so, and the books they talk about aren't usually books that I'm interested in anyway, so I don't know what possessed me to watch this video, but I did. And she, early on in this video that I was watching, she started to talk about, I don't watch people who don't edit their videos because I don't know the exact words she said, but something along the lines of she doesn't like to watch dead space, she doesn't like hearing people say and I understand that to a point. I have been, even if I speed up somebody, I have seen that where somebody will maybe talk too slow, pause way too much, and just like have trouble cutting their thoughts together. And it does sometimes wear on my patience to a point that I may stop watching their videos. But I don't think, and I could be wrong, I do say, all these kind of things very often, but I don't think that's necessarily a terrible thing, especially going in theme with what I do. But it was kind of hurtful, because I was like, well, humans speak like humans. Why would you not want to see that at all? And I also just felt like this is someone who's a very successful YouTuber. Does this reflect what a lot of people think? Is this really true that maybe I should stop? That maybe I'm making videos that are not cool? Not that I'm trying to be so cool, but just, I do sometimes feel like I'm doing something wrong. I do feel I'm not looking for the massive amount of subscribers. I understand that for me, hitting 1,000 would be a massive thing. I hit 700 earlier in this year, and I have about 770s now, and I haven't gotten much further. And it's a little discouraging because my growth has slowed down recently. And 1,000 subscribers would be nice just because you can do the community posts and stuff like that. And yes, you can monetize, but I know you're not going to make a lot of money monetizing on BookTube. I know that already. So it would be nice, but I'm beginning to think that maybe her opinion reflects what a lot of people think, not just about me personally, but about anybody who is like me. So, and I tried not to think that, but it kind of got a little more, it kind of felt a little more real to me because when I did try to do a more creative post, which I've tried over the year to do creative posts, and sometimes it's good, it gets good reception, but most of the time the big views, sadly, are about the hauls, about the TBRs and the wrap-ups. So, I'm not the only one who says that, so I deal with that. But I did try something, and about a month ago I did an original tag, because I thought, why not? I see people with fewer subscribers make original tags and they caught on and it was fun. And, you know, it doesn't have to be that a million people do it, but even a good amount. And and I'm thankful for these 2 people, but I only had 2 people do the tag. And so I didn't want to be so sensitive, but it actually did make me feel that maybe I am truly not in a wavelength with anybody, really, because I'm like, well, how come so many people, and I'm not saying, I know some people directly tag people or whatever, but I just didn't understand why it was that my particular thing, like, was there something wrong in the questions that I put in there or something, or is it just like high school that I'm, you know, that's just a popularity thing that my ideas don't really catch on. So I know I'm whining. I understand. I'm sorry to be whining, and I told you guys, you know, that this is kind of, I try to make my videos like conversations, so this is kind of, you know, a little proxy for maybe somebody else who might have had to hear me whining over a cup of tea. But yeah, I don't want to bring anybody down, but I don't know what I'm asking for right now. Maybe just a little bit of feedback, and not mean feedback, because I did a when my blog was you know, more often updated, and then suddenly the engagement wasn't that much. The people who used to comment on them weren't commenting as much. And so I did make a post very similar to this, but it was more like, should I keep writing on here, or should I just keep a journal and have done with it? Because what's the point of writing for other people to read if no one else is reading them? And someone commented something along the lines of, oh, you're just looking for attention by this, you know? And it did kind of hurt, because I was like, well, I mean, I am looking for some attention. Why do you make videos if you intend for one person to watch it, right? Obviously, there's more than one person who watches it. Usually my videos average around 200. But you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I mean, yeah, but I'm not looking for pity so much. I'm just looking for understanding, or just, like I said, this is a check-in. So anyway, I'm going on, and I want to know what you guys think. Maybe I'm just overthinking this. I do that. I am a textbook overthinker, as Kevin Mullen said on The Office. And I'm talking a little too fast today. But I'm just curious if anyone else has felt like this. I've seen people make videos like, what was it, BookTube imposter syndrome or whatever. And sometimes I feel like that too, but honestly, I think that I am a reader. I love to talk about books, so I don't think that makes me a bad booktuber. I just want to understand, is this how everybody's feeling right now? Is everything just kind of right now, or is it just me? So I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully not too annoying. This is Catherine, I think an empty cup now, taking tea with Catherine, and I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.